Today we are at Rum Cay. What is this? Rum Cay Resort? Rum Cay Resort in Fort Pierce, right on the inlet. And I'm hanging out with Robert George Vines.
How you doing?
Who is a local artist in the area, does original music that's kind of got a bluesy-ish rock and roll type of feel. And I thought maybe I'd sit down and have a talk with him, and we'd get to introduce you guys to Robert.
How you doing out there? Warren, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man,
thanks
for meeting me.
Yeah,
so tell me, all right, there's a couple of ways we can get into having this discussion, and,
Sure.
and what I like to do is I like to ask a few questions.
That's fine.
What's the first album you ever purchased with your own money?
Oh, man, that'd be Kiss.
Which album?
Alive.
Alive. Now, you're the second guy who said that to me in the last 3 weeks, and that's actually my second album I purchased.
See?
But Kiss.
Minds think alike, man.
What was it about that album?
Man, what's not about that album?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just exciting. I used to come home from school, didn't go outside, didn't play, didn't do anything. I took my pool table, took the legs off of it, put it in the middle of the floor, put some two half-inch plywood up top, put my drums up there, put the makeup on, and go all the way from song one to the end, man. Never came out.
Oh, you built your own drum riser?
Oh,
that
yeah,
is great.
man.
Oh, man, that
Fog
is...
machines, lights, everything.
That's cool. And where'd you grow up?
I'm from Queens, New York.
Oh,
man,
okay.
but I
I'm a
live
New
down
Yorker,
here.
too.
All right, there you go.
Right,
See?
absolutely.
Working out
Representing New
already,
York.
man, yeah.
And you can't be a New Yorker and not have been a Kiss fan at one point or another.
It just doesn't happen.
No.
Gang, it doesn't happen, man.
No, and the cool part about being a Kiss fan in New York is you get a little crazy, like you researching things. You're like, oh, when you read their books, you find out where the loft was. You're like, oh, I know where that is, or
Exactly,
I know where this
man.
was, or I know.
I'll tell you a true story, man. And it was junior high school, and my music teacher was Victor Lopez. He was trumpet and flugelhorn player for Miami Sound Machine. If you
Okay.
know that band back then. But anyhow, I'd asked my mom if I could go to the Kiss concert, and she was like, no. And this was like the first time I would ever go into a concert. She's like, no. So I thought I'd be the smart one and go out and buy my own concert ticket. Back then, I think it was like $12.50 or something like that. Went and bought a concert ticket and everything and kept it hidden. It was time to go to the show and all, and I asked if I could go in the hopes that she would let me. And she pulls out this ticket, which was mine, and she goes, you know where I found this? And I'm like, oh shit. She goes, I was gonna let you go, and pulls out another ticket. But seeing that you went behind my back and bought a ticket, you're not going. Rips both the tickets up.
Oh man, parents could be spiteful.
Yeah,
But
I'll never
those
forget that.
were the days back then, though, where I can remember my parents dropping me off. I lived in Texas when I was old enough to go to concerts.
Right.
I lived 60 miles away from Dallas, but my parents would drive us in 60 miles, drop us off at a concert. I was 12.
Right.
Drop me off
Those
at a
were great
Coliseum
days, huh, man?
with a ticket to go into a concert. They would leave and go out to dinner or catch a movie or do something. Come back at the end of the concert and pick us up. Like, you can't do that with a kid today.
No, you can't do that today. That just doesn't happen.
Oh my God! But
That's very cool.
Now, do you know what the last record is the last record you've purchased, or the last?
record I purchased. Wow.
Yeah, the last piece of music
that-
you spent money on.
That's going.
It's a tough one, I know.
That is probably a tough question there. Man, I think I had to rebuy Boston. I think something happened to my Boston. I had to rebuy the Boston album.
Okay, which one?
It was the first
The
album.
first one,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
So you like a lot of classic rock?
Yeah, big classic rock. However, though, the first band I ever played in was an all-black band. I was the only white person, and it was funk.
Oh, cool.
Heavy funk. Bootsy Collins, Parliament, TTF.
I got to play with
stuff.
Bootsy
Did
once.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude.
Yeah. I was with Cameo for 3.5 years. I was Jonathan Moffat's
Yeah,
drum
I
tech.
was reading. I read that with your in your bio, and I was like, that's fucking cool because I covered Word Up, the Cameo style for years, man.
Love it.
Like, I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah. We were out.
I
with a
went
lot
from
of
rock
brothers.
to R&B,
Nice.
heavy into funk and R&B and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was Moffat's drum tech for 3.5 years. So
Wow.
I was with him through the Cameo days, with Rick James and Parliament and this guy and that guy, Michael, MJ, everything.
Yeah,
so we went
yeah.
through all that. And it's funny, at the same time I was also with Molly Hatchet
Oh,
for a
wow.
little bit. So I was like juggling both bands.
Okay. And that's
But-
a totally different vibe, man.
Southern rock
Yeah.
there, man.
Southern rock to funk.
Yeah. And how I got into this whole thing here is, I played drums for quite a lot of bands. You know, from Tony Montana, the bass player from Great White, he
Right.
had his own thing going. He's back with Great White right now, but I played with him for a few years on tour. I was with the Rusty Wright Band, who's a blues band. They were like number 3 on the charts for a while in the blues, and then also Swamp the Womp until Gig died. The lead singer passed away. From there, I went into a band, Mona. I was tour stage managing with, and ran into some people, and a couple people that follow me, and they asked me, you know, you play drums and all, but just got in this conversation about, do you write your own stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And we wound up playing a song for somebody, and they're like, what are you doing? And, you know, I never really gave it much thought. I never, you know, always been the drummer, backseat guy of the band, everything. And at that time, I went home and I told my girlfriend about it, you know, my former girlfriend. And she actually inspired me and got me to pursue it and said, you know, you really need to do your own stuff. It's pretty damn cool. And, you know, her name is Tracy Genter. So actually this album, which is now Robert George Vines, it was actually, this album is dedicated to her.
Oh, okay.
For getting me.
Oh, that's cool.
To even pursue this.
And she's an ex, and you still dedicated it to her.
Well,
all right.
That's
a good thing.
Yeah,
that's good.
And my wife is cool with that.
Cool.
It's just, you know, and my wife's also in the band too. She's plays percussion and you know, backup vocals.
That's
Amazing
important.
backup vocals.
Like I see that a lot around here. I have a lot of friends who have spouses that are musicians as well, and I never realized like my ex-wife was not a musician. So when I see like that, the bond between a husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend that are in the same zone, like music instrumentation wise and musicianship and stuff like that, it's a whole other animal.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that is
definitely.
it gives you the freedom to actually be more you than you could be with that other person. Like, because they don't understand you, whereas another musician understands you. That's
and you know what's really wild about the whole thing that she kept locked inside is, we were talking the other night, and I was like, you know, I wish I could like put some horn parts in one of these songs and all. And she turns to me after all this time and goes, well, I play saxophone, I play trombone, I play that. I'm like, wait a minute, my wife, you play percussion, you back up sing, you never told me that you play saxophone, you never told me that you read music, you never told me that you did this, you never told me that you did that. There's so many things more that are going to open up to the door on the next album.
That's great.
I'm really excited about.
And speaking of albums, when is this one releasing?
This one is actually getting through right now. It's at Mercury Mastering in LA. They do a lot of things. They work with Kiss, POD, bunch of bands, Little River Band, yada yada yada, Chicago, and they're mixing mine. It's Connor and Blake, up there, and I'm endorsed with ProMark and Diodurio and Evans,
right,
and Steve Lovemide takes care of me, and we're doing good, man.
It's good stuff.
So,
what ProMark? That's the sticks you use?
Yeah. When I was playing drums, I'm no longer playing drums now. I kind of stepped up to the front there, so. Playing rhythm guitar and lead vocal.
So you play drums and guitar, vocals?
Play drums, guitar, piano.
Wow. Yeah. All right, that's cool. It opens up doors to songwriting everywhere. Like I 2 years ago I taught myself from an online course how to play piano. And I'm not good. Like by any means I'm not good. But it's helped my home writing. In understanding kind of chord structurization, where I didn't understand it as much on guitar as I figured it out once I relearned on piano. Yeah,
it's really cool stuff, man.
Plus it adds a whole other element.
Reading too. A lot of people, you know, there's a lot of great players out there, but being able to read music is just a little bit more, you know.
Yeah,
brings a little bit more to the table.
I confess that I can't. I cannot read music. Tab, of course, you know, I can. Music I can't read. I wish that I'd have stuck with it, but like I took lessons from a church lady.
Oh, okay.
Taught me like the basis of everything that she taught me how to play guitar wise was strumming. Like it was more about the strumming, because if you ever go to a church, I don't know how to describe it, but like a Catholic church songs, all had these weird strumming patterns
They
to
do.
them.
I'm Roman Catholic. So,
Are you? All right. So yeah, you get it. Like they have these
But
weird
here's the
strumming.
thing. Here's the kicker with that is by doing the strumming, you actually have a very strong sense of rhythm.
Without question, you're
And
100% right.
That is more important than being a shredder.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many shredders can't be a rhythm guitar
At
player.
all. No, I know. And I my buddy Russ Kellum, who's a local guy up Northways, who you should check out if you like bluesy,
All right, cool.
like Sun Seals type of bluesy
Nice.
type of. He's got some really good stuff. But he and I were talking. He said the same thing. Kiss was like the
Really?
band that got him into it, and and I'm always impressed with his rhythm. And I've had a bunch of people say the same thing to me. They're like, your rhythm is like retarded. You're like spot on, and that's why. You hit that right on the head.
That's it.
Most people don't recognize
No,
that,
no,
but
it's really
you'd have to
important.
be a Roman Catholic and had to have gone to church there for a while to get
That's
that
it,
one.
guys. Go to church, man. Yeah, so anyway, I'm really happy with what's going on right now. We have a couple songs on Reverb Nation, and the nice surprise this morning is we're #1 local.
Okay,
Okay, we're #1, which is regional.
great.
Okay, we just slid into #6 in the U.S. and #6 in the world. So
Oh wow.
we're really happy with that.
I haven't dug so. I never got into the whole Reverb Nation thing. Like I have a page,
Right.
and but just you know what, I put so much work into mp3.com back in the day.
Right.
That I know how much work you really have to do socializing and selling and networking and pushing and the Reverb Nation thing. Has it done well for you? Is it getting you a lot of...
It's done well, but I tell you, I still haven't figured it out. I know exactly what
Yeah,
you
it's
mean,
like
man.
weird.
It's like one day you're here, the next day you're here, then you're here, then you're there, then
Yeah.
and it's like I look at the numbers, and I look at the views and stuff, and I can't understand why I can have like 46 views one day and not move a muscle, but have 2 the next day and jump down or up. It's it baffles me.
Well, it's the way they do the algorithms for all the social networks. Like
Right.
when I run this, I could have 7 people live watching it, right? Which is a very small number. And then as soon as the video is done, I press stop on the live part, I can go to my page and look at it, and it'll say 178 people watch this, like in the 5 minutes of whatever it was that I did, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, why did it only show me 7 people watching it, and then afterwards 173 people actually watched it? Like, I can never figure any of these
Doesn't make sense.
these things out. But I mean, I know in ways of promoting, I've kind of gotten into studying the way Facebook works as far as promoting goes,
Right.
and the way that whole thing works is you've got to have a conjunction of cool, thank you, man, a conjunction of people working together, sharing the same product to multiple groups of people, so that it stays in the feeds and it keeps moving around. Otherwise, it dies. Like
Right.
you post it once and it disappears and it dies.
I hear you, man. By the way, that hand that just came in was my manager for KGR Records, Robert Dugan.
Robert, come in here for a minute.
Come on in here, buddy.
Come sit down. The sun's not out over here anymore, so we're
Cheers.
pretty
Thanks
good.
for having me today.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. I love this. What I was telling these guys before was that opinions don't matter, and when it comes to the music and getting the music spread and talking to the people, it's like I said to him when I first got here, and I said to some folks that I interviewed yesterday, I don't have to like your music. I don't have to think you're good. The music doesn't matter. If I like your music, that's not right. My opinion of the music doesn't matter. If I like it, that just makes the conversation that much more better. But the point of me doing these interviews and these shows really is that it's another outlet for somebody to get their music heard. Give them your Facebook pages and your website pages again.
So, KGRrecords.com, and on Facebook, it's KGR Records. Then you have RobertGeorgeVines.com. He's on Reverb Nation. Facebook is Robert George Vines.
Twitter and Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram. So yeah, we're blowing it up.
Cool. Cool. You guys should definitely go check him out. like I said earlier, make sure you follow all of his social media: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know if you have all that crap.
All the
too,
above,
right?
man.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not on Snapchat, but I think he is. That's one of those social medias that I haven't figured out
Me
yet.
neither, man. If there's anybody out there that actually understands Snapchat, email me and let me know what the hell it is, because I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I doesn't make any sense to me. But it's one of the third most popular
I know.
It is.
thing. Now, you know
It is.
what's weird is that Facebook video went up 268% between 2017 and 2018.
Oh wow.
278% in video. That's how much people have gone into using videos over Facebook, on Facebook alone.
Right.
Which is weird because it's the worst network for it.
Yeah.
Because it's 720p and it's a mono split
Yeah.
audio recording instead of true stereo and 1080p. But hey, I'll take whatever promotion you're going to give
There
me
you
for
go.
free. I'll take it.
Absolutely. You know, that's the thing is it's all about the promotion, you know, and it's, you know, doing everything you can to get the music out there one way or another.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know, it's, you know, back in the, you know, I know back in the day, you kind of, you know, everybody was kind of selective on, you know, we'll interview with these guys because they kind of conform to what we're doing or whatever. Now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just get it out there all over the place because social media has become the driving force of the
without
music
question.
industry.
So,
You know?
So you're going on a trip, right? And it's going to be, and on that trip, you're going to be away for 25 years, and you're going to be on a secluded island somewhere, and you're never going to be able to buy a record, listen to the radio again. So you could take 5 records with you. Wow. 5. That's it.
5,
You're going to
that's all
listen to
I
them
get.
for the rest of your life. The same 5 albums. What 5 albums?
Oh man, you know, I definitely got to take my buddies with me.
Love Bugs, right?
Yeah, take my buddies with me. Not in any particular order.
Yeah. That's no
Okay.
special order.
Got to take my buddies with me. Obviously, I'm gonna have to take Pat Travers. Gonna have to take Foghat. Gonna have to take my buddies Molly Hatchet.
Do you know Pat?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. He's right here in Florida, so I'm gonna say I played with him in Carmine Apiece and T.M. Stevens.
Carmine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, so what were the 5? It was
Okay.
Pat Travers.
Yep.
Which album?
Heat in the Street, man.
Okay.
You know why? Because that album cover was actually taken in Miami Beach. And Mars Cowling was the bass player at that point in time. You had Pat, and you had my buddy Tommy,
Right.
Aldridge on drums and stuff. But that scene, that whole scene with them in Miami Beach, right there in the parking space with the coin machine, they were literally kept putting quarters in there so they could take
pictures.
And the police are real police officers.
No kidding. That's
yeah,
cool.
They actually
That's
stopped
what I
that and
love
said,
about
"What the
old
hell's
albums.
what the hell's going on here, man? And we're taking the
Yeah.
album cover shot here."
That was like the Kiss Dressed to Kill album.
Yeah.
Same type of thing. They just went out on the streets in the city dressed,
Yeah.
the way that they were and took pictures. And people were like, "What the hell is going on?" I love that. All right, what else?
All right, so we got those 3. You know, I have to give some kudos out to my little brother, Tony Montana from Great White. Did play with him for some time, so, Tony's band there. And the last one, man, I could keep going, but I would have to, say Van Halen.
Van Halen. Which one? 1?
Oh,
Van
2.
Halen.
I like Van Halen 2.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody likes Van Halen 1 because they came out. Van Halen 2
Van Halen
to
2
me
is darker.
That
It's a
is
darker
I
album.
think
I
their
like it.
best album.
Yeah. That's got Mean Streets on it, right?
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does have Mean Streets on it. That's a dark album. I like that one a lot, too. All right, what about you?
Oh man. That's a tricky one.
The Carpenters?
No, actually, it's funny. Is I would have to say would be, I would say, oh man, well, I think Kiss Double Platinum.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to think of what are some of my favorite ones. I mean, that's a tricky one because I mean
Those guys pissed me off. Speaking of double platinum, I'm going to go off on a tangent.
There's a band that does their last tour 5 million times, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Same with Ozzy, but the double platinum album. See, I was a collector. Like I was a crazy Kiss collector. I had comic books and the toys and you name it. I had it all. And they put out an album called The Originals. It's a 3-album trifold, right? Which is basically double platinum plus a few other fucking songs. And it was the most impossible thing to ever find. I wound up finding like 1 LP. I got 1 LP out of the 3 things without ever getting the sleeve. But double platinum it's a great greatest hits.
Right.
Yeah. What else? Kiss and what else?
I'd have to say, you know, love Warrant.
Okay.
You know, Warrant was
32 Pennies, where the Down Boys go from the first album up to Dog Eat Dog. I was with them until Jamie St. James, until that crap happened, and they brought Black and Blue. Ugh.
Yeah.
Another Gene Simmons find.
Right. You know, but
I like Big Talk.
Big Talk. Yeah.
You know, I'd have to
actually,
say
you're right.
You got Warrant, then
Hole in the Wall off of that Warrant Dog Eat Dog one is
and the
great.
Sticks.
Yeah.
Sticks. That's another one. I like, you know, Sticks, and you know,
Mr. Roboto Sticks or the Come Sail Away Sticks?
Come Sail Away.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now you didn't ask me who my favorite singer was.
Who's that?
Hands down, Ronnie James Dio.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And favorite drummer all time, still to this day, Tommy Aldridge.
When it comes to hard rock, I was always a big Dio fan too. It's John Corabi is really my ultimate favorite vocal guy. That was the guy. Most people don't know him, and he was the guy that replaced Vince Neil and Motley Crue.
Right.
But that's a good influence.
Yeah. Best bass player, man. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I've always liked Sarzo.
Rudy? Yeah. I just, you know what cracks me up with Rudy, though? I said this to somebody else in an interview once. Rudy has, for a guy that's actually not played on very many albums, he's been in 1 million bands, high-profile bands. Like, every time you turn around, the guy's in a high-profile band, but never recorded on the album. Like, yes, he's good live. You know, I never got to actually meet him or talk to him or anything. But I don't think he played on the Whitesnake albums. I don't think he played on the first Quiet Riot album. I don't think he, so I don't think he played. I know he didn't play on the Ozzy albums. No. That was Bob Daisley. But yeah, Sticks, I go back and forth with. Sometimes I dig them, sometimes I don't.
They're, you know, they have some really good songs that I really like. You know, like Come Sail Away. And things like that. But then they've got some songs where, again, you know, it's all about your opinion and how you feel about the song and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know,
they were like Yes to me. Like Sticks was like a
great
more.
band.
Yeah.
Rick Wakeman.
They're great, but they got too spacey for me.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a point for me where when you go way out of the box, sometimes I can't. Like Dream Theater, I could never dig Dream Theater. I couldn't get into the progressive stuff because it would go off before it would come back. You know, and I would get lost in the go off part, and I would want them to just come back, reel me back in. I don't, you know.
See the thing about music, you know, I mean, there's so many great players, you know, so many advanced players, and the advanced players want, you know, the musicians understand it, but the regular everyday people don't.
Yeah.
You know. We could talk about polyrhythms. We could talk about this.
Oh yeah, well that's the bitch about writing. Is that writing over feeling between writing mathematically.
That's it.
Like I struggle sometimes when you're writing something, you feel it X, Y, Z way, but your mind is telling you mathematically that's not the way this is supposed to work. Right. It hit you like, and you're like, people don't realize in the creation of music or even learning cover songs. I tell my bass player all the time. I'm like, dude, count.
That's right.
Count.
And guys.
Yeah.
us had to learn songs back in the day with a record. Remember the take the needle off?
Yeah, put it back
take the needle
on.
off. You guys are like, doop.
Yep.
Okay, doop.
They got it easy right now.
Right?
I get in battles all the time because I hate when I go and I see a rock band play and there's an iPad on stage with the lyrics.
Oh, dude.
That's
my biggest pet.
You and me
vocal-
both.
Oh man.
I can't stand it. Now,
Ugh.
the arguments go, yeah, but what about, guys using teleprompters and cheat sheets and blah, blah. I'm like, all right, here's the difference. I'm terrible with lyrics. Terrible. I can sing. I've sung the same song for 30 years and I still fuck them up, right? The lyric-wise, because you got a million things going on in your head when you're on the stage and you're playing. I'll put a cheat sheet down or a cheat book. But you can't see it.
Yeah, it's behind the monitor.
It's behind a
in
monitor
fake
somewhere.
monitor.
Hidden
Yeah, put
where
it somewhere.
You're never going to notice me take a look at it.
That's it.
You're never going to notice me flip a page. You're never going to, that's the part that
That's-
bothered me.
that's-
We've all had tricks
Oh yeah.
to get through the trade.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the what I can see that detracts me from
Sticking
the show.
right on the mic stand.
Right on
Doing
the mic
this.
stand.
Oh yeah. yeah.
Like I've had people unfriend me because I've said it was unprofessional.
You bring.
And they're like, but I got to know 800
the thing
songs.
is,
I'm like, yeah.
You got to bring your A
called
game,
memory.
man. Yeah, and yeah,
See,
it's just.
And what a lot of people don't realize is, I mean, yes, even the big mega stars, they have their cheat sheets and everything else, but like you said, you never see them.
Never.
No, they're
never
inside of
see
a
it.
fake monitor right in front.
Yeah,
Well,
of
it's
you.
like
know, and-
when you watch a television news program, in the scene that you're watching, there are 500 cables
Yep.
that you can't see,
Absolutely.
but they're there. There are 500 cables laying around on the floor, right in that scene that you can't see.
With a
And there's
teleprompter.
microphones above you and a teleprompter in front of them. It's like,
Exactly.
guys, we get. Yes, it's understood that there are ways that we all need to cheat to keep the memory going, but you got to hide that shit.
Right,
hide it right so that you can put it on a show instead of losing that eye contact with the audience.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it.
And
That's it.
that's one of the most important things is you gotta connect with the audience, and you can't connect with the audience if you're reading the screen.
Yeah.
You just
Well,
can't
when
do
you
it.
perform, is it a whole band or is it the two of you?
Whole
Yeah,
band.
whole band.
Yeah. And when the tour settles in to where we know the dates and stuff, we will be running an ad
Okay, cool.
and having a cattle call.
Yeah, I want to help you get into some bars. You know where else you should go? There's a place in Stewart called Earth Tones. Go in and see him because he's very into the original scene and he loves blues, loves blues-based country-ish type of stuff. Totally into it. I'll send you his card.
Okay.
But
yeah.
stop into Earth Tones because when the CD comes out, I'm sure he'll sell you a CD in there or whatnot too. And
Nice.
he does a lot of he does a lot of shit in Terra Firmata.
Okay.
So he's a good guy to know. I'll introduce you to him
Yeah, no,
this
absolutely.
afternoon. I'll send something over. I think I'm going to go to the beach now.
There you go.
It's like 26 walked past me. It has perfect bodies. So
I guess we did the interview in a great spot. Then
we really picked a great spot. I'm going to have to do.
Absolutely.
And you know what the best part is? I'm playing here June 21st, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't realize this was the place.
Yeah.
Until
Look at that, man.
I
That
came
rum
here. And
can.
I'm like, all right, this works, man. I'm going to spend my breaks over there.
There you go.
We'll have to come see if we're
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, definitely come.
Oh,
I'll send you an
absolutely we'll
invite.
be.
It's a
Yeah.
cool night. We're all classic rock, so we do
Yeah.
a lot of Hendrix, Nazareth, Guns
Okay.
N' Roses. We do some. We do other
Maybe
shit.
I can get you guys to learn Feeling Randy, and I'd come in and do it.
Yeah, dude, definitely send it to me. You never know, man.
Well, you'll have it in the next day or so.
You know, I'm
and-
all about cross promoting. So
Yeah.
if I can get the guys to learn it quickly and run up and do it, have you come up and do it with us, absolutely. Because I
Absolutely.
usually stream all this stuff too.
That's cool.
Right. No, absolutely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
You know,
it'll
and-
be fun.
Yeah, definitely be fun.
Well, thank you for coming
Man,
out, man.
thank you. I
It's a
enjoyed
pleasure,
it, man. Pleasure
talking to
meeting
you
you.
and meeting
Hey,
you.
you
Both
too.
of you guys, and let's stay in touch and make sure you guys support the local scene. Go out and support his music. Listen to his Facebook stuff. Go on Reverb Nation and keep him at #1. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And to most of you guys, a local chart doesn't mean much, but to an artist writing their own music, when you reach anywhere in a top 10 on a local chart, it actually means something to you as an artist because you feel a small sense of accomplishment knowing that at least a few people are listening, and we'd love to get that out there and have hundreds and thousands of people listening. So listen, give it a listen, share it. You find anything original band sends you on Reverb Nation, share it. And those of you guys that just bypass videos and bypass music and bypass stuff like that, don't. It takes 2 seconds to press the like button and 2 seconds to press the share button. And you don't even have to write anything else. Just press the button, like, press the button, share, and it helps aggregate more views for the artist and more people to actually check it out. Because while it's floating through your screen on your feed and you're going through there, you might just see something that you like. You never know.
I actually appreciate you saying that, because what's funny is on the Facebook there, I'll do posts, go to my Reverb Nation, just become a fan.
That's
play
it.
a song. But you know how many people will hit the like button on that ad, but won't
Even
go?
go, right. It's crazy. It's the same thing with an event. Like, you could put an event up and say, or I can ask a question on the Vibe page. Like, I do a lot of jokes, a lot of questions, a lot of stuff like that. On the Vibe page, I can ask a question, and then I'll share it on my page, and they answer on my page instead of actually clicking on the thing and answering on
where you want
the one where you wanted to interact with. Yeah,
right,
Facebook's got to work on that.
Right, exactly.
So anyway, that is it for this episode. I'm going to play you guys a song on our way out. I think I'm going to play the CPR song.
All right, Get CPR.
We're going to leave with Get CPR, and make sure you go check this guy out and give him some support.
Warren, thanks for having me.
Man.
Guys, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Peace out.